Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 14, Hippias Minor, 368a to E. Since Hippias is defending the position that the true man is better than the false, Socrates is trying to get Hippias to agree that the false and the true are the same person. And if Hippias does agree, then he will have lost, which is why Hippias doesn't agree. And yet, in every field, because Hippias is the one who is able in every field, he has to agree that he is able to tell the truth and tell falsehoods. Incidentally, as we go through field after field of Hippias's expertise, we gradually discover that Hippias is actually the polytropos. It's never said explicitly, but this is what we are supposed to find out. We are supposed to understand that in the exhibition, Hippias called himself the polytropotos and compared himself favorably with Odysseus, whom Homer had made the polytropos in the Homeric poems. In a different sense, of course, but that doesn't matter to a sophist. So far, Socrates has referred to calculating, geometry, and astronomy. If he carries on like this, it will take forever to go through all of the different fields in which Hippias is an expert. So Socrates here takes a different tack. Ithide o Hippia, an eden hutosi episkepsai katapason ton epistemon, epu estin alos echon e hutos. Come now, Hippias, simply look in this way through all of the epistemae if the case seems to be other than this. Episteme is knowledge or understanding, and the epistemae are the fields of knowledge or understanding. It's another way of talking about skills or arts. Episteme is normally the theoretical side of technai. Technai is craft or skill, the practical application of an episteme. Pantos de plestas technas panton sophototos e anthropon, hos ego potesu e kuon megalauchumenu, pollen sophian kai zeloten sautu diexiontos en agora epitais trapezais. Altogether, you are the most expert of all people in most technai, crafts or skills, as I once heard you broadcasting, when you were detailing your great and enviable expertise in the agora at the tables. The picture Socrates is presenting is of the sophist once again exhibiting himself, this time in a public area. We should understand Hippias as advertising himself. He's not bragging, he's not boasting. He's simply stating facts. He is the most expert at these many crafts or skills. It's interesting that Socrates chooses to describe this event from the past rather than the present exhibition. It indicates a certain continuity, a certain state of affairs, that it's always the case. Hippias is therefore more of a consistent model. Ephestade aphikestai potes Olympian haeches peritosoma hapanta sautu erga echon. You said that you once went to Olympia with everything that you had about your body being your own works. proton men dactylion, entiuthen gar erhu, hon eches sautu echen ergon. First, the ring that you had, if you started from there, you said you had as your own work. Notice that Socrates is recalling what Hippias said in the order that he said it. He began with the ring. When it comes to what people say to each other, Socrates has a very good memory, but he doesn't make a show of it. So Hippias said that he went to Olympia with a ring which he had made, hos epistamenos dactylius glyphen, as one who knows how to carve rings. In other words, the ring is evidence of his expertise in making rings. We can extrapolate from this that the expertise of a craftsman may be judged from the products. Kai allen sfragida son ergon, kai slengida, kai leguthon ha autos ergaso. And you said that you had another signet ring as your work, and a scraper, and an oil container, things which you yourself had made. Epeta hupodemata ha eches, ephetha autos skytotomesai, kaito himation hufenai, kaiton chitoniskon, kai hoge passin edoxen atopotaton, kai Sophias plestes epideigma, epede ten zonen ephetha tu chitonisku, hein eches, enai men hoiai hai persikai ton polutelon, tautende autos plexai. Then you said that the footwear which you had made yourself, and that you had woven the cloak and the tunic. And what seemed to everyone most unusual, and an epideigma of the greatest expertise, when you said that the belt of the tunic which you had was like Persian belts of the extravagant kinds. This, you said, you had woven yourself. Notice the word epideigma. We've already seen epideixis, which is an exhibition. This is the activity of showing one's talents. A deigma, simple deigma, is an example, but an epideigma is an exhibit. It is an exhibit of the skill which it is a product of. Hippias has great expertise with it. He can make a great product, but then that great product is used simply as an exhibit showing his great expertise. That seems to be the main point of these products. Prostitutois poiemata echon elthen, kai epe, kai tragodias, kai dithyrambus, kai catalogaden polus logus, kai pantodapus sunce menus. In addition to these, you said that you went, in other words, to Olympia with poems, both epic poems and tragedies and dithyrambs, and many and variously composed prose speeches. So we've moved from crafts with material products to crafts with verbal products. Kai periton technon dehon arti ego elegon epistemon afficestai dieferontos ton alon, kai perirhythmon, kai harmonion, kai grammaton orthotetos, kai alle ti prostutois panupola hos ego doco mnemonuen. And you said that you came, that is to Olympia, understanding better than others about the technai, the crafts, about which I have just spoken, and about rhythms and harmonies and the rightness of letters, and many other things in addition to these, as I seem to recall. Kaitoi toge mnemonikon epilathomen su hose oike technema, en hosu oie lamprotatos enai, oimai decai alla pampola epilelestai. Indeed, it seems I've forgotten your memory technique in which you think you are brightest. I think that I have forgotten a lot of other things as well. It's obvious that Socrates didn't actually forget the mnemonic, the memory technique of Hippias. He's just put it last in the order of things. He started with the crafts which have material products, and then the crafts which have verbal products, and then mnemonics is to do with mental products. And by the way, it looks like Socrates himself doesn't need mnemonics. He has a very good memory for things that have been said in a dialogue, and he seems to be in the habit of comparing what has been said with what is now being said and arriving at conclusions, unlike everybody else he talks to. Al hoper ego lego kai estas autu technas plepsas, hikenaide, kai estas ton alon, pemui, an pu hiures ecton homologemenon moitikai soi, hopu estin homen alethes, hode pseudes, choris, kai ucho autos. So, as I say, look at your own crafts, for there are enough there, and look at the crafts of others. That's an interesting point. There must be a few crafts which are not of Hippias. Hippias, for example, isn't good at running. He doesn't do sports in the Olympics. So look at all these crafts and see if you can find anywhere from the things we have agreed amongst ourselves, you and I, where there is a true man and a false man separately and not the same man. Did Socrates really have to go through all of the technai that there are just to prove this point? Not really. It was enough to show that in one, if there was the possibility of the same person being true and false, that was all Socrates had to prove. But he's used the excuse to show that Hippias is polytropos without saying so.